There is a question that follows people for years, sometimes decades. It does not always announce itself loudly. Sometimes it just sits quietly in the background, underneath the daily routine, underneath the job and the responsibilities, and the life that looks fine from the outside. The question is simple. Why am I here? Not in a hopeless way, not always. Sometimes it is just a persistent, honest wondering. A sense that there is something you were made for, something specific, and you have not quite found it yet. Or maybe you had it and lost it, or maybe you thought you knew what it was and then life shifted, and now you are not sure anymore. That feeling is more common than most people admit, and our Father speaks directly into it. Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. Jeremiah 29:11, ESV. Now this is one of the most quoted verses in all of Scripture. It shows up on coffee mugs and greeting cards and social media posts every single day. And because of that, it has lost some of its weight for a lot of people. It has started to sound like a general encouragement rather than what it actually is, a specific, deeply personal declaration from our Father into a situation of real uncertainty and real pain. So let us put it back in its context, because where this verse was written, and to whom, changes everything about how it lands. Jeremiah wrote these words to the people of Israel while they were in Babylonian captivity. They had been taken from their homes by force. Everything familiar had been stripped away, the life they had built, the land they loved, the temple where they came to meet with our Father, all of it was gone. And they were sitting in a foreign place, surrounded by a foreign culture, wondering whether our Father had forgotten them entirely. There were false prophets in their midst, telling them this would all be over soon. Go home, pack your bags. Our Father is about to fix everything immediately, and the people desperately wanted to believe it, because believing it was easier than sitting in the uncertainty. But our Father sent a different message through Jeremiah. He said, settle in, plant gardens, build houses, start families, seek the welfare of the city you are in, because you are going to be here for a while, 70 years. That is not what they wanted to hear. 70 years is not a short season. That is a lifetime for many of them. And right in the middle of that hard truth, our Father says this, I know the plans I have for you, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. He was not saying the captivity was good. He was not asking them to pretend the loss was not real. He was saying something far more powerful. He was saying, I see exactly where you are. I know what this has cost you, and I have not abandoned the plan. Even here, even in this, even in the place you never wanted to be. The plan is still in motion. That is the context behind this verse. Not a blanket promise that life will always be comfortable, a declaration that our Father's purpose for your life cannot be derailed by your circumstances, not by captivity, not by loss, not by the detour you did not choose, not by the season that looks nothing like what you imagined your life would be. He knows the plans. He has always known them, and knowing them is not the same as sharing every detail with you up front. He did not give Israel a step-by-step breakdown of exactly how the next 70 years would unfold. He gave them something better. He gave them His word that the outcome was already secured, that a future and a hope were already written into the plan regardless of what the current chapter looked like. That is what He is giving you today, not a map, a promise. And the promise is enough because of who made it. Purpose is one of those things that people tend to imagine as a single defining moment, a dramatic calling, a clear vision that arrives fully formed and lights up everything around it. And because that moment never comes, or does not come in the way they expected, they conclude that maybe they just do not have one. That is not how our Father works. Purpose in Scripture is almost never a single moment of sudden clarity. It is a direction that reveals itself through faithfulness, through showing up in the small things, through trusting our Father with the chapter you are in right now, even when you cannot see how it connects to anything larger. Joseph's purpose was not revealed to him in a single moment. It unfolded through a pit, through years of slavery, through a prison cell, through a conversation with a fellow prisoner that seemed insignificant at the time. None of those individual moments looked like purpose from the inside. They looked like setbacks. They looked like dead ends. But our Father was threading them together into something that would save a nation. Your story is being threaded the same way. The season you are in right now, even if it feels purposeless, even if it looks like a detour or a dead end or just a long stretch of ordinary, is not outside our Father's plan. It is inside it. He is not waiting for your circumstances to improve before He starts working your purpose into motion. He is working it right now. Through exactly what is in front of you today, that changes how you approach this day, not as a person waiting for purpose to arrive from somewhere else, but as a person whose purpose is already written, already in motion, already being worked through the ordinary moments of an ordinary Tuesday. Now here is something worth sitting with. The verse says, "Our Father knows the plans," not that He will reveal them all at once, not that you will always understand them as they unfold. He knows them, and His knowing is enough. His seeing is enough. His holding the full picture while you trust Him with the piece you can see right now. That is the life of faith this verse is actually describing. It is not a passive life. Jeremiah told the people in captivity to plant gardens and build houses and seek the welfare of the city they were in. In other words, engage fully with where you are right now. Do not wait for the ideal circumstances to show up before you invest yourself fully in what is in front of you. Our Father's purpose moves through engaged, faithful people, not through people who are sitting still waiting for a more convenient season to begin. Wherever you are right now, whatever the chapter looks like, that is where the purpose is. That is where our Father is working. That is where the plan He already knows is being worked out in real time. You do not have to see the whole picture to move forward in it. You just have to trust the One who does. He knew you before you were born. He knew every chapter your life would hold. He knew the detours and the losses and the seasons that would not make sense until later. He knew all of it. And He still declared that the plans He has for you are plans for welfare and not for evil. Plans to give you a future and a hope. Not a future that depends on everything going right from here. A future that is secured by who He is and what He has already declared over your life. A hope that does not require perfect circumstances to stand on. A hope rooted in a Father who has never once lost the thread of a story He is writing. Your story is not lost. Your purpose is not missing. It is being written right now. In the chapter you are in, through the faithfulness you bring to today, trust the Father who already knows the plans, and move forward in the confidence that the future and the hope He promised are already yours. If something stirred in you just now, stay with that feeling.